Hey everyone, welcome to Zealots. I'm Forrest.
I'm Major.
I'm Robbie.
And I'm Matt.
So today, it's been a while since we've done an episode. Secret Invasion ended.
I missed you guys.
Yeah, Secret Invasion ended, thankfully, and there wasn't really a lot of content to watch afterwards. So we
That's
just
not
waited.
true. You can go on YouTube and watch a lot. You can hate watch a lot of great content. Ragging on specifically the worst episode or the worst rating of any Marvel content ever, the last episode of Secret Invasion. One, yes, we do have a podcast about it. You can check it out. It's our last episode. And then two, like what? It was down like 13, 7, 8%. Like just
it was 3 to 7 depending on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, exactly. So just bad. So like this is not review bombing. This is cold hard facts.
Yeah.
But we're back.
Yeah, I think the only thing that's been playing has been the new Star Trek show, Strange New Worlds, which I'm not going to watch. I don't know if you guys are going to, but it
sounds like a better porno.
So really quick, I have to make two things about that before we really get into what we want to talk about. One, they did the coolest thing ever, and then followed it up with an episode with the dumbest concept ever, and that's why I will not watch it. One, there's another show called Below Decks, which is awesome and is hilarious. Yeah. They introduced two main characters from that show and brought them in as kind of like a throwaway to the fans, and it was hilarious. And then the next episode, you had a musical where you have singing Klingons. And I refused to watch it, and my brother was sending me texts. He's like, "You got to watch the Klingons sing at least." And it was bad. It was one of the worst things ever.
It's like a Klingon boy band.
It was J-pop or whatever you call that.
Well,
K-pop,
or whatever.
Segue into episode 2, but we're not there yet.
Yeah,
we have 2 episodes to cover today.
Oh my gosh, 2 episodes.
That show just bad.
Yeah, I'm not gonna watch it.
It's a shame Painkiller came out when it did, because I could really use some Oxycontin to numb the pain from this having to watch Ahsoka. Yeah, so let's start with the positives. I liked Rosario Dawson and I liked Ray Stevenson.
No.
Yes, no. Yes. Let's high five. Let's team up. Let's beat up Forrest right now. Let's kick the shit out of Rosario Dawson. Awful. Bad.
She is the exact opposite of what I like. I love Rosario Dawson.
People are like,
so much.
She's the embodiment of Ahsoka. Good. You mean last season of Ahsoka when Ahsoka was a bitch? Dude, people fell in love with Ahsoka seasons 2 through 5.
Oh, well,
whatever.
For people who have not seen Clone Wars like me or Rebels like me, I don't have an emotional investment with any of these characters. But I didn't really like Sabine Wren. She just kind of was just like.
How could you? These characters are written so shitty. What the only person I liked in episode 1 was that. I don't know, that cool pilot who gave him the nod, and I hated that guy because he's not doing his job. Dude, you need to stop Sabine Wren.
What if he did
that's your job? And then she evades the police, and then he's like, "That's cool. Like you're cool now." Like, no, dude,
you get a pass for that power slide.
Yeah, dude, the cops are chasing this guy, and then he does this really cool 180 on the interstate. The cops are past him going the other direction. He's like, "Oh yeah, Vin Diesel's awesome. This is Fast and the Furious. This is stupid."
To rein it in here, one of the big problems I have with this show is the casting. Some of the casting is great, but some of the casting is god awful. One is Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka, and we'll get into that later. But another one is I do not like the actor who plays General Syndulla. And I don't know if it's an issue with acting or if it's an issue with her. That's the Twi'lek, the general. She's green.
The actress.
Yes.
The actress. The actress is married to Ewan McGregor, who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi, right?
I did not know that.
So I think there might be some nepotism afoot.
So I think an issue though is when you're doing an animated series, you can animate a Twi'lek really, really well. Yeah. When you're doing live action and you skimp, obviously like they did on the prosthetics, and it just looks so bad. And I don't know if that's what's distracting me, and it's not her acting, but I feel like at times her acting just totally phoned it in. And there's some very awkward scenes, specifically with Rosario Dawson and herself, when they're talking to each other, and it is so just distracting.
Yeah.
But I found the map. Oh, you Jedi.
Yeah, I didn't really think she had much to do in the first episode. She had a little bit more to do in the second episode, but yeah, she's definitely the most underdeveloped character in the show so far. I guess besides, you know, the droids. I think the droids are a little bit more developed.
She had the most development, or at least the most screen time of the three in
Rebels, right?
Rebels, yeah.
Yep.
Really?
I don't know about the screen time with Sabine, right? But as far as character arcs go, like she fell in love with Kanan, R.I.P. Wink, maybe. Dude, all right. Who is Merrick? Sorry, that's a tease. We're gonna talk about it, but not right now. That's way too deep into it. It's Kylo Ren. Anyway, sorry, we're gonna talk about it. Robbie, where were your? Sorry, Matt wasn't done. Those were your highs. Was Rosario Dawson's acting?
So no, Forrest was saying highs and lows. So, Forrest, your highs for the actors and acting. What were your lows?
Just everything else. I mean, it was just boring. It was just boring. I mean, it's not a bad show. I like it more than Secret Invasion. I like it more than Secret Invasion. I mean, not much of a improvement there. But I mean, I think it's like better than Mandalorian season 3 so far, for the most part. Because like I think that just started off like just really cringy. Yeah. With like just the bad kid actor who was like.
We are in the Filoniverse. Are we gonna see a takeover from? Is the Mandalorian gonna come over and take over one of these episodes?
Oh, you know it.
Or is
Jon Favreau is involved with this.
I don't know.
Anything?
I was thinking so because they've done it so many times in the last couple of series, but like this is like Dave Filoni's quote unquote like love letter to Star Wars. However, this feels more like a high school essay. The way it just drags on and on without anything happening. It's like, oh my god!
Look, trying to get that word count.
Episode 2, 26 and a half minutes in before we get any kind of action. Okay, so like, dude, Star Wars or Snooze Wars? Because I'm over here wondering.
So back to highs and lows.
Highs and lows.
Rob, what were your highs and lows of episode 1 and 2?
I did really like that that long stretch on the hover bike towards the beginning of the episode.
The part we all just said we hated. Okay. with the Star Wars J-pop.
Well, it was mainly your focus was the guy just giving him a nod.
No, also the J-pop. The J-pop sucked.
No, the whole scene was pretty bad. The whole scene was pretty awful. It was a really crappy way to introduce what they intended to be a badass character.
Dude, all right, so the old white guy, the guy in charge, the mayor or whatever his name is.
Oh, the Kurgan?
Yeah,
who is the same actor who voices him in Rebels.
I love it.
Really?
I love when they do that. Yeah, and I love the actor. He's fantastic. But he's like, where's Sabine? And then the person's like, I don't know. She was just here. And then the rest of the dialogue for the entire episode was acting like she never showed up to the meeting. So either that person's a fucking liar or no. What's more likely is we just have terrible writing. Anyway, more highs and lows. Let's go.
So for me, the highs of the show.
Robbie was just.
Oh, Robbie, sorry.
Robbie was going over his high J-pop.
Lows. Man,
it's all good, wasn't it? It was just 2 hours of bliss.
Hours of
like really stuck out, but like the show you go into shouldn't feel like a chore.
Yes,
in a way.
That's my point that I was going to make. Kind of my low is that if you haven't seen, my low is if you haven't seen Rebels and you haven't seen Attack of the Clones or Clone Wars, whatever.
Yeah, so I don't.
Any of the animated shows, you have no investment. You have no idea who any of these people are, and why you should care. Exactly. And that's a big problem with this show.
Big problem.
It's a continuation of Rebels, and you just.
There's probably
they in the first 2 episodes they haven't built any reason for you to actually cheer for these people, to know who these people are or why they all play against each other. So that's definitely a big low for me. Is to the casual average viewer, they have no clue what's going on, and they still don't after 2 episodes.
My wife was like, Ray who? And I looked over her and I said, Ray Skywalker, and I stared off in the distance, and she has no idea who any of these people are. Like Matt, would you agree? Thank you. Yes, I'm trying to get less canceled. Matt, would you agree? If you do not own Star Wars boxers, you do not at least one point in your life, you do not understand what's happening in this TV show.
Seriously, no, you don't.
No, I'm sorry, but those are facts.
Yeah.
Although Ray spelled R-E, although Ray is spelled R-E-Y.
Yep, I would also point that out too.
So I didn't really understand the joke the first time you said it, but I was like, okay, I'll let him have this. So yeah.
Do a lot of
So I will say this, going back, my high so far though,
yes, give it to me, baby.
I love exactly what they're doing in the sense of the world building. What I love about Andor and what I love about Mandalorian is we're not focused on Coruscant, we're not focused on Tatooine, we're not focused on any of the main characters. We go to Corellia, which is awesome because that's where Han Solo is from, and we're seeing the shipyards. You know, we're bringing in the Witches of Dathomir, which is a hardcore. You need to know the books or watch the series. You know,
just watch it. They're good.
Yeah,
those are good episodes. Green Flames, that's the course.
It doesn't take place in the same places consistently. It expands on the universe, which the Star Wars universe is so huge. You don't even need to even bring Jedi into it, and you could still have a good show. So
that was another complaint I had. It was just like this was just like a retread of every other movie and show with Jedi in it.
It's like poetry. It rhymes.
Yeah. It's just like, okay, we have good Jedi, we have bad Jedi, and some other shit's going on. But it's just like nothing. It just feels like nothing new. I know you said like
again. I know some witches in there.
So no, here's the thing though, and what I love is that Jedi use the Force, but the witches use the Force, and the Sith use the Force. There are different religious beliefs, if you want to call it, different sects of, different groups that use the Force, but the Jedi were the biggest ones that we know about. And what I love is we're starting to introduce, these Witches of Dathomir, these people who are Jedi who aren't Jedi. People who can use the Force. So we're using this big universe finally and showing that there's more to it versus Jedi Sith, Empire, because even the bad Jedis in this one, we don't know what they are yet, say, for some there will be, war. For some, there will be a new day. For some, there will be this. This is a huge universe, and I'm loving that we're finally dabbling.
Well, I did like that they mentioned there's like another galaxy out there. And when I heard that's where Thrawn's hiding, I was like, ooh, are they going to introduce the Yuuzhan Vong?
So they're definitely not doing that. That's too big for their britches. My question is it the Chist?
So the Chist, and here's where I hate it though.
Okay.
The Chists are from the unknown regions. And the fact that we're saying that this link between galaxies is from the unknown regions to this other galaxy. I hate this whole idea of another galaxy, because unless you're bringing in the Yuuzhan Vong, then the other galaxy is stupid. Unless this is like trying to like show, hey, there's different ways to get to different galaxies, and that way they can bring the Yuuzhan Vong in a movie or something. Yeah. It's completely stupid, this galaxy traveling. Just go to the unknown regions. Go to the unknown regions. The Chists are from the unknown regions. Thrawn is found in the unknown regions. Why do we have to get other galaxies involved?
So I know who the Chists are. Robbie doesn't. Why don't you explain who the Chists are?
So they're this race, and it's one of the few races that the Empire didn't discriminate against, because the Empire was wholly against aliens.
It's Thrawn's race, isn't it?
It's Thrawn's race.
Okay, yeah.
So basically, they are from the unknown regions. They are some of the best military minds, and like one of Thrawn's like special abilities is he can look at the art of a culture and know like everything about them, and know like how they would fight, how they would. So yeah, he studies them, and they're just So they're just really, really good military minds that have been in the unknown regions that the Empire found, and instead of exterminating, they hired them. What?
You were talking about the beginning there. You're talking about how the a problem with the Chists, right? Do you think that's because they are not susceptible to the Force, or they're immune to Mitochondria. What are they called?
Midichlorians.
Mitochondria.
No, I really think this is taking yourself out of Disney and reading the books. Yeah. It's the idea of
sacrilege.
They come from the unknown regions, which becomes a backup plan for the Empire. But because of the military prowess that they have, and they are very humanoid, even though they're blue, I feel it was just, more recognizing that than, the lack of force sensitivity.
And I think it's important to realize real fast while we're talking about the extended legends, right? The extended lore, which is called Legends after Catherine Kennedy. Great joke, Forrest. Matt, would you agree that Thrawn Ascendancy, that trilogy is one of the best trilogies you can go out there and read in the extended Star Wars Legends?
Seriously, it's one of my favorites.
Absolutely. So
besides the Jedi Academy trilogy.
And what's the Star Command? No, or
the Death Star?
No, what's the one with Wedge Antilles?
Mark II.
What's the Wedge Antilles series called?
Oh, the X-Wing, the Rogue Squadron is the first book. The X-Wing series. That is amazing. Yeah,
that's what Patty Jenkins was going to do, but that became, I think, 1984 came out for Wonder Woman, and that guy killed her career. So. Yeah, I got the sense that Thrawn might be telepathic because I think when the witch said that she felt she got a message from him, I thought that meant he was communicating with her telepathically.
Do you think dreams and stuff? Oh, can I do my highs and lows first?
Sure.
Yep.
All right, my highs. I really appreciate the Star Wars crawl being in red. That's very Ahsoka Dave Filoni. I don't understand why the crawl went up instead of back. Fading into space like all the other Star Wars, but
on a flat.
How
but different.
I'm not. That's not for me to be so pedantic about. I like to start off my low because I shared this low with Ahsoka's low, and that would be her first spinning jump. Yeah, Ahsoka. That would be her first spinning jump on episode 2. 26 minutes in when she starts her Star Wars battle or her Jedi lightsaber battle. If you look at her when she's jumping towards Ray Stevenson or Merrick, whoever she's
Galen.
Galen. She goes maybe a solid 6 inches to a foot off the ground. It's absolutely hilarious to watch, especially in respect to think about Yoda jumping around 20 feet in the air doing.
Oh my god!
Flips,
the first time.
And Revenge of the Jedi. Or Attack of the Clones.
You just never see Yoda move like that.
So he just drops the fucking. He just drops that cane and he goes wild.
Thank goodness for CGI.
Everyone hates it. Please tweet at us. You'll find us on Twitter. I love it so much.
Can you imagine?
I know everyone hates it.
Well, can I just ask you what you all thought of the lightsaber battles between the Hunter Killers? Between Sabine and what's her name? The apprentice. And then the one in the second one.
Really?
No, I'm just saying because she's got the bangs. And she looks like a cosplayer from OnlyFans. I guarantee you, after this episode drops within a week, half of OnlyFans will be filled up with cosplays of this girl, of this character.
So
I've done any research. I'm just speculating based on what I've seen on Twitter.
So I'm saying a lot of people say they like the choreography with lightsaber battles, but I thought Rosario Dawson, once again, not to bash her because I love her so much, I thought her battles, she looked very slow and encumbered, and it didn't look like a Jedi. It looked like they were kind of forcing the fact that she could. If you just rewatch those fights, they don't look like the swift, quick movement, and it's fluid. It just looks very slow and choppy and blocky. It's just
Can I take this?
Very off-putting. And with Sabine and the Apprentice, I hate how constantly they had to frame their two faces with the lightsabers. They did it 3 different times. Haha, I got you. Haha, I got you. And it's just
how they just
awkward.
And look at
yeah, they just pause and look at each other and it's just.
What about the scene when Sabine's doing some kind of reverse scorpion, reverse table? She's got her legs. She's on one arm, like holding her.
I actually,
well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And they framed her face.
I had to back up to make sure she caught herself. The first time I saw it, I was like, "Did she pull a Matrix move?"
Just a Michael Jackson. Just start leaning backwards.
They're defying physics right now.
Okay. Right, so first off, Matt is absolutely correct. What is happening? So I watched the Sabine OnlyFans. That's what I'm going to call it for now. Okay. Sabine's OF lightsaber duel, and my first thought was, holy shit, these two are so much better than Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi during A New Hope. Like these, like how
and Kenobi.
And Kenobi, like these two are excellent lightsaber duelists. The choreography wasn't great. It wasn't spectacular. There was no 100 flippy flips, which I love in my Star Wars, right? Because I'm a plebe. I'm off, like, get it. And I was okay with the choreography for what it was until a good buddy of ours in our mutual group chat shared an Instagram post from an actual OnlyFans girl who did a lightsaber battle with sex toys with her and her boyfriend. And the choreography was better than the fucking show that I just watched. So when you're getting outclassed by dildos, I'm sorry, I can't appreciate your laser sword duels.
Yeah. So one of my pet peeves with the lightsaber duels, and it's a problem throughout all of Star Wars, is the you can see it a lot in the first prequel. When you go to slash, but you slash over their head on purpose and he blocks, it's like you were never trying to hit him to begin with. You know, but it looks cool because the lightsaber is long and you frame it from this angle. But if you look at the actual angles, what you're fighting at, you're just looking at having the lightsabers come together and making it look cool versus actually going for killing blows.
I'm also okay with that. Let's look cool.
Aiming for the lightsaber instead.
One of my favorite scenes in all of movie history is Attack of the Clones during the gladiator scene. And then Natalie Portman, fully dressed, gets attacked by some kind of alien monster. Boom. Now her shirt's a crop top. One of my favorite moments in pitch meetings. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh, thank you, kitty. Nice kitty, right? But like, it's so stupid, right? But like, so, dude, as long as it looks cool, I'm okay with it not making sense. This just didn't look cool. This looked bad. And it didn't make sense.
I usually just turn my brain off from the lightsaber battles. I mean, we've seen it all. You know, they're just not interesting. There's just no way they can make them interesting.
Numb to it now, so.
Yeah, you're just like they're like over. They're like
it's the best part of Star Wars.
In episode 2, when she's fighting the Inquisitor, right, and he fights with just the one, and then he like finally lengthens the other side and starts spinning it, but then he throws it at her to distract her, and then it comes back, and it's just like kind of like, oh, I duck out of the way. It's nothing. It's like, come on.
Stupid.
Like, you could do so much more.
Cut that lightsaber in half. Cut that kyber crystal. Destroy a lightsaber that's gonna kill future Jedi and innocent civilians.
Gotta have this
Ahsoka.
This cool, like, I saw it coming.
You're so fucking cool. No, dude, you look like a Mexican drug mule with your stupid poncho.
Yeah. So is that?
Do you want to talk about costumes though? Is that a good segment for overall costumes? Let's talk about Merrick. Merrick looks cool. That's a cool helmet.
Who's
that's
Merrick?
Like the Inquisitor, the Dark Jedi user we saw at the end.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do you think he's gonna be Kylo Ren?
Yeah, I think he's Kylo Ren. Everyone's saying it's Ezra Miller, but it doesn't make sense.
No.
You mean Ezra Bridger?
It's Ezra Miller. Yeah, the Flash comes in. No, Ezra Bridger.
So I will say this. I believe it's a former Inquisitor that joined with the Knights of Ren, and they're going to use him to bridge the Knights of Ren.
Oh gosh, I hope not.
I think this is so guys, you have to remember. So I do analysis all day, so you have to weed past the bullshit to see the money making aspect of it all. Okay, every Star Wars property is not a vehicle of entertainment. It's a vehicle for what? Class, say with me all together. The next Star Wars property.
Yep.
Right? So the only thing people would even give a shit about watching is a Kylo Ren origin story. And by the way, guys, Kylo Ren, the Knights of Ren, that's not a coincidence. All right, I'm not gonna spoil all the lore because I'm gonna butcher it anyway. Maybe Matt, if Matt wants to do it justice, can talk about Ren, right? But like this is a thing to worship, and like there is a person who was the best at worshiping or whatever, and he became Kylo Ren, right? What is this person's name? Is it Merrick Garland, or is it Merrick the drug company, or is it
Merrick Garland?
I'm out of puns here.
So
comedy works in 3. So take it away, Matt.
Just to make it a point though, and the reason why there's a lot of ambiguity, this is another one of my lows, is that we're not really sure when this takes place. We know it takes place after after Jedi, after episode 6. Now, how far after episode 6 is it? Is it in line with The Mandalorian? Is it in line, where exactly are we in this universe? We just know that the Empire's fallen. The First Order hasn't taken place.
Yeah.
But like, has the First Order taken place yet? It's kind of like ambiguous. Are we seeing the First Order take place? With the whole scene, like, oh, the Empire is still involved in all levels of everything. Like, are they trying to bridge the 2 movies with the first sequel and the last real movie? So it's kind of frustrating because I think the issue is writers take a lot of 32? It's not even 32 years. It's like 16 years between Jedi and the first sequel. And we're seeing the New Republic already disentrenched. So I don't know. The ambiguity of the timeline. Well, the ambiguity of the timeline, and the fact that the writers are like, we don't have to be specific about anything, is kind of frustrating.
Well, that's so if they paint themselves into a canonical hole because they're too lazy to do the research ahead of time without doing any kind of dates, right? They can just always add more stuff in between in the future, right? Like Disney wants to be around for the next 1,000 years. They want to make the next 10,000 Star Wars properties. At some point, you're gonna make a Rogue One, right? Where you're gonna make a $200 million movie to explain a 15-minute plot hole, right? Like so.
That's what. No. I don't put that past Disney because that's the whole point of the Marvel shows.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
All the Marvel shows are explaining the plot holes.
They're just vehicles for the next one, and that's what Star Wars does best, right? Like that's what they do. They make a movie and then they make erroneous content to explain the plot hole.
So, not to be a super nerd, the ship that Ahsoka is flying is from the High Republic, before the Empire is established, before Order 66 happened. All right. All right. So, was this ship like hiding this whole time and she just didn't use it, or like after the Empire fell, she found a bunch of them and she, but like this is the same ship we're told that they used in Rebels, because when Sabine goes into the ship, she sees all the things that she, graffitied on the wall.
All the Easter eggs that the people in Rebels aren't going to understand.
Obviously, this ship has been in hiding, but they implied that Ahsoka has been using the ship the whole time. Like, what the fuck is going on? And not to like super nerd out. But we can argue that she's been in the time between time.
What episode did y'all like best of the 2? First, second one.
Yeah,
I like the second one.
Definitely first one. Yeah,
I like the second one.
The first one was full of.
It was shorter.
The first one was A New Hope. I still had hope for this series, even though, as I tweeted out beforehand, like this was like all the fate of the MCU and Star Wars rested on this show, and it is a big bummer so far.
Well, I think we're gonna get like the episodes are gonna improve just because we're gonna get more backstory on these characters. I know nothing about. Like obviously Ezra is gonna be introduced. We're gonna learn more about Sabrine, hopefully, and the Twilight girl. I guess
Syndulla.
And the droid. Is the droid also in Rebels?
Chopper.
Dude, he is the best. Everybody hates him, but if you watch Rebels, he's constantly swearing. He's
That's my
constantly
high.
swearing, and they got that into kids' television. He says "fuck you" in this episode, and it's not caught.
If you look it up, he is a war criminal.
Yep.
There's great YouTube content. Like there's great videos diving down like rebels. Like he is by far like one of like the most. He's Jar Jar Binks for rebels. As far as like Jar Jar Binks being an evil Sith Lord. I want to circle back to Matt real fast being a super nerd. Not
I think Matt dropped off.
Oh well, that's fine. I don't need to talk to him. I just references content. Not to put my tinfoil hat on, but if you go to Wikipedia, this entry about her T6 shuttle is the smallest Wikipedia entry I've ever seen. It's literally one line. Doesn't call out the anachronism, nothing.
And Salacious Crumb has like what 20 pages worth?
Yeah, dude. It's like
the little cackling weasel thing next to Jabba the Hutt has like a really as a novel on Wikipedia devoted to him.
I think there's like a planet that like sucks souls in or something like or there's like a spider. It's like in charge of paying out like the galactic bounties in Star Wars. Like that's got like there's so much lore, and then you go to this infamous ship, and then just one sentence. All right, tinfoil hat off. To answer your question for us,
Salacious Crumb, how long
episode
is
1?
Oh.
How long is his dong? Forrest, that is inappropriate.
How long is Salacious Crumb's dong? No, I was saying, how long is Salacious Crumb's Wikipedia page?
I could put it together. I figured you were. Oh my gosh, there's content. There's a biography is labeled 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 2, 3, 4, 4.15, and 6.
There's like 6 paragraphs or
six sections. Multiple paragraphs. There's 6.
On Salacious Crumb. Wow.
There's more than 6 paragraphs just in his bio before you even get to personality traits or behind the scenes or appearances.
What personality traits could he have besides he likes to laugh?
Oh, I'm so glad you
Tower.
Salacious was a natural performer, and he was blessed with a panoply of physical features suitable for a crowd-pleasing crown. Floppy ears, messy hair, wide and oh so hypnotic eyes, gangly limbs, clumsy movements, and an infectious crackle. But he didn't possess much of a brain between those outsized ears. That's a quote from Lugubrious Moat.
Well, hopefully Kathleen Kennedy will start drinking the Kool-Aid and make a Scroll of Salacious Crumb show. Instead of the Book of Boba Fett, the Scroll of Salacious Crumb.
The Salacious Scroll.
Like the Dead Sea Scroll.
No, I like it a lot. Hey, so pitch it. Maybe Disney will give you a show and then fire you a year later.
Yeah, there we go. Well, hey, they're not hiring.
But maybe you'll come back, like Matt. Maybe in this new galaxy, Zack Snyder. Maybe Rebel Moon will do so well that Zack Snyder will get his Star Wars trilogy after all.
Well, does Rebel Moon? Does the trailer look any good? I haven't seen it yet.
It doesn't look worse than the 2 episodes of Ahsoka you just watched.
There's also a really cool, I don't know if it's a movie or a show called like The Creator or something coming out that looks very Star Wars-y.
Yeah, I saw the trailer for that. I'm not interested at all. It just seems like another like AI bad. Or no way, it's not AI bad, it's humans bad, AI or robots good. Mm-hmm. Basically like iRobot.
So speaking of AI and droids and robots and everything, if you have a hunter-killer droid that can take out several city blocks of whatever in their self-destruct protocol, why would you have them fight and not just like land when she's like down there and just
because they would have destroyed the map. Well, they were going to blow up anyway.
Well, they don't need the map. The thing is, like, they don't need a map.
Yeah,
they already know where Thrawn is.
It's bad writing, and also holy shit, what an explosion! And also, dude, what was the time delay? Oh my gosh, were they rebooting an Android phone that's 4 years old? What was the restart?
Why do they always
give your enemy so much time to run away?
She ran like 2 miles, bro. Like, what happened?
And maybe going out self-destruct so they have a chance to run.
Self-destruct protocol initiated.
Yeah. How about no beeping? How about no beeping and no announcement?
I like the hero
Announcing what you're
pose.
gonna do.
I love how like they took out their heart and like they post there. It's like, dude, how cool and fucking stupid is this? Almost as dumb as wasting what I feel like is probably like, where is the action in this movie, in this TV show, right?
Well,
like there has to be. It's a budget constraint, right? If you had infinite money, it would be 6 hours of lightsaber fights.
See, that's the thing. So when you looked at those first trailers, the problem I had with the very first trailers for this show was that it looked like the CGI budget was crap, and it looked like no money was put into it. And then when they released the final trailer, you know, everyone was saying like, hey, no, they just haven't finished CGI. They haven't finished CGI. It's Disney, you know them. And even now, I feel like what's that episode of Secret Invasion where they run into the hospital after the president has been almost assassinated? It feels like that. There are so many times where like you see
he has two pillars. So when they go the white pillars, when Ahsoka is looking at these pillars, and it's literally PlayStation 2 graphics, it's so fucking bad. And I wonder, like, did they spend all that money on that one scene when they're walking through the engineering, and there's these giant they're taking apart all like the machines, and Ahsoka is walking through like in episode 2? Like did 90% of that budget go to like the 1,000 moving parts to CGI? That looked good, but those pillars looked literally PlayStation 2.
But not even that. Watch certain scenes and look how empty the scenes are. How it looks like they shot it on a set. They had 1 or 2 people there, but like look how empty the scenes are, and it's just like rushing into the ER room with a president that's almost been assassinated. He might die, and there's only 3 orderlies. That's how it feels.
To Star Wars, where you literally had so many people, like they had a guy using an ice cream maker, just running around with an ice cream maker as an extra. What happened to the glory days?
He has a whole backstory too. That's the crazy part.
I know, I love it, and he's got a longer.
Wikipedia.
You missed this. You missed this, Matt. I went ahead and looked at that T6 cruiser on Wikipedia to figure out to get to the bottom of it. 1 sentence, right? That's about 99% less than Salacious Crumb has on. So I think we're onto something here, and I think the truth is being suppressed by the Galactic Empire or the First World Order, wherever we are in the timeline right now.
What did y'all feel about the I guess the B plot of episode 2, where the
plot?
The Imperial Imperial spies working for the Republic. What were they trying to do? They had to get the hyperdrive to the witch?
Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah, it's a field that.
Well, so this is
or a ship.
So you've seen it. You saw it in the prequels. How they travel. So like the small snub fighters can't do hyperdrive. Right. So they will always go into these circles because everything's about a circle. And they will use that to use the hyperdrive. So this is going to be like hyperdrive on crack to go to the different galaxy. They're going to find the wormholes. They're going to find the whales. They're going to find the whales, you know, and...
But so basically there's already a hyperlane. Like there's a straight line. Like why do they need 7 engines? Is this trip going to take so long? Like how far away is this?
It's just
furthermore,
MacGuffin for the episode.
But here's the thing too. We've already established, and granted it was a Superstar Destroyer in Rebels, that the whales took them on a Superstar Destroyer. And yeah, that's 1 Superstar Destroyer hyperdrive, but like this ring has 7 of them.
7.
You know, so like, why do you need that many? If the whales can take you, does it even matter what you're in?
Let me ask you this. What looks better as far as gigantic mega super ships? This versus the Mega Mormon ship on the Expanse?
Mega Mormon ship on the Expanse.
Mega Mormon ship for sure.
I totally forgot about that. That's crazy. They were able to get that into the show and not have like complaints or.
Yep.
But
So let's talk about Merrick. Who do you guys think it is? Is this Kylo Ren? Is this Ezra Bridger?
No.
Who?
No.
This is an Inquisitor?
He's just an Inquisitor who's no longer an Inquisitor. And it's going to be one of these like false things they put out there to get people to speculate, and it's going to be nobody in the end.
It's going to be like the Reed Richards in WandaVision controversy. Like everyone thought the engineer who was going to meet Monica Rambeau would be Reed Richards, and it turned out to be just some random army lady. So Yeah.
So I will just say too, a big problem I'm having, and this kind of ties in, is the loose writing.
Mm-hmm.
So first off, we know Ahsoka's not actually a Jedi. She walked away before she finished her training. Mm-hmm. Somehow she was able to take on a Padawan. Don't know how. But all this like, hey, we kind of have a general gist of what's going on, so let's just make it work. Mm-hmm. And that's a big problem because they could use the fact that Ahsoka is not, and it's Ahsoka, not Ashoka. I hate how that's been a thing. But in the very first episode, she kindly hints that she tortured the Dathomir witch.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, because she's like, I don't do the Jedi way, because she's not a Jedi. And so what's frustrating is that it is so bad that even when it's written well, we kind of gloss over that because we're just so hyper focused on, how bad it is. But there are like little nitty bitty things that you're like, okay, cool. I like this. Let's see where it goes. And it doesn't go anywhere.
Well, I do think the writing's at least better than Jon Favreau's. I think he was just awful. I think Dave Filoni is at least better than him. So I mean, like, if I had to rank these shows, I would just probably put this. This is not a huge. I mean, it's definitely better than Kenobi, better than Boba Fett, better than season 3 Mandalorian.
You mean Boba Fett, which is season 2.5 of Mandalorian?
Yeah. I've seen episodes of Paw Patrol that are better than. Oh yeah, they have too.
Yep.
They also have.
They heard Paw Patrol. They're like,
Paw Patrol.
Yep.
What?
Yeah, my dogs went nuts. So
Clip it, that's some beautiful timing there.
Yeah.
So I could have picked any show. It was a 50-50. I was like Peppa Pig or Paw Patrol.
That worked out perfect.
And I went with Paw Patrol. So good. Dude, if I said Peppa Pigs and there was some points in the background, I would have jumped out my window. I would have left. Major has left the stream.
Wow.
Or as I'm called this series, Major want to stop watching this episode.
What do you think is going to happen next? I think we're going to see Thrawn next episode.
No,
we're going
it's
to
not going to be.
Bitch and complain.
He was in the trailer.
So how many episodes is this? Is it 6 or 8?
6.
Do we know?
Let's go 6 because it's always 6.
So if it's 6, we won't see Thrawn until the end of episode 5. We're really going to get.
Mandalorian was 8, so I'm thinking this is at least 8.
So if we have 8, we won't see Thrawn until the end of episode 7.
How many?
So, and it's going to be about Kalen and his apprentice versus Ahsoka and Sabine. It's going to be like the focus of this. So I do not think we'll see Thrawn, and he'll like come on screen at the end of episode 7, and then it'll cut to black.
Well, they're gonna do a fake. They're gonna do like a death fake out, like they do with Moff Gideon every season of Mandalorian.
All right, so
probably.
There is if for the super nerds out there who scroll through the credits, there is a credit in the credits for the guy who is the voice actor for Maul. So some people, Darth Maul. So some people think Darth Maul is coming back, which I want to tangent real fast.
What if he's married?
Back to the Sabine. No, he's got no legs. He's like Lieutenant Dan. What's wrong with your legs, Lieutenant Dan? What's wrong with your legs?
He could be like have prosthetic legs.
He does.
His robot legs.
No, he's got like 8 legs. He's like a freak. You gotta watch Clone Wars. It's so good.
They show like he wasn't like bare shinned.
No. So the Dathomir witches but healed Darth Maul when he was cut in half.
Dumpster.
Yeah, and healed him back, and then he had like this little crawler thing. So once again, if you haven't seen Clone Wars or Rebels, you have no clue.
You have no idea what's happening.
Well, yeah.
So this reminds me, is Qui-Gon Jinn a bitch? Right?
Of course.
Reva got stabbed. She lived. Sabine, a little tiny Asian girl from Lethal or wherever she's from, stabbed. She lived. Dude, Darth Maul, cut in half, lived. Qui-Gon Jinn, dead.
Palpatine killed 5 times.
Well, I would argue that if Qui-Gon Jinn lives, then
he's got to kill Anakin.
Obi-Wan never takes on Anakin as his Padawan. Qui-Gon gets it, and we never have the imbalance in the Force.
Oh yeah, you never have any problems whatsoever. Right.
Yep.
So you heard it here first. Super nerd Matt. if Qui-Gon Jinn wasn't such a pussy, then the galaxy never would have had trillions of deaths.
And you're telling me that there are no bacta tanks anywhere on Naboo within running distance.
Yeah.
Especially when that was they were in the hangar.
Might have been a bacta tank. I'm so glad she was not in a bacta tank. Dude,
but they had a bacta patch.
Yeah, but we have a flashback, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, and the droid was the same droid that fixed Luke's arm, and it's the same droid from Empire Strikes Back, who is like the medical droid. So I love that.
I did notice that. Yeah.
You gonna buy a new toy?
Damn right. At the end of the day.
Well, the reason I thought Merrick was Darth Maul because they had the double-bladed lightsaber. So I was like, "Oh, Darth Maul's going to sue somebody."
They all have.
But he can't sue himself. Well, and if you rearrange the letters of Merrick and add an AUL.
Well, so you watched Kenobi and you saw the Inquisitors. They just, some of them have that double, and they're not even like
some of them
full-on Jedi. They're like Force sensitive, but they're not full-on. Not to say Jedi, but
Darth Vader was in charge of teaching them, and he's not. So in the law, the universe of the Sith, right? You have the master and the apprentice. So you always have a teacher and a student trying to kill the teacher at some point. So Darth Vader was like, "Well, I'm just not going to teach these kids anything." So when they try to kill me,
I'll just have multiple students. We'll have multiple students that will kill each other instead of killing me.
We have 4 unidentified Inquisitors. Out of the 14 Inquisitors in Star Wars canon, 4 are still unidentified. There is a chance that Merrick is an unidentified Inquisitor, maybe from the past, currently, or in the future Inquisitor, depending on the timeline.
I keep pointing out, I really think that it's something to throw in front of the fans to make them like guess, and it's not going to pay off.
Yeah, I literally
thought Mephisto. You learned from Mephisto.
Don't even get me started about Mephisto.
Reed Richards in WandaVision too, because everyone thought the engineers would be Reed Richards, but I think.
What about the? You're forgetting. Dude, see, you thought all about Wanda. You thought about Reed Richards during WandaVision, which is an excellent point. But you're forgetting all about Ralph Boner.
Oh yeah, Quicksilver. Yeah.
The actual disappointment.
They didn't even bring in the actual actor from the Age of Ultron. So we're like, the multiverse is about to start, and they're like, nope, not until
it's just a Boner joke.
2. Yeah. So, wow, they really dropped the ball in the last episode.
Speaking of boners, are we excited for episode 3?
I think the show's slowly getting better. I think they're going to introduce Ezra or bring back Ezra. They would introduce him via hologram, and
keep going.
So we'll probably see him. Probably some flashbacks when Ahsoka's training him and Sabine. So hopefully just more character development. I'm hoping, so I care more about these characters because right now I don't. Hopefully, find out who Merrick is.
I will say this. Having watched all the Disney Plus shows, we know that episode 3 is going to be horrible. Yeah. 4 and 5 will get us. 4 and 5 will get us intrigued again. Episode 6 will be horrible, and then at the end of episode 7, which is where I'm calling it, Admiral Thrawn will walk out, and then it'll cut to black to get us to watch episode 8. And episode 8 will be the biggest letdown. I am calling it right now. Episode 8 will have a lower Rotten Tomato score than episode 6 of Secret Invasion.
Clip it! No!
Bum,
my gosh. All right.
Well, it seems to be getting good reviews so far.
No, wait for people. No one's watching this. That's the problem.
Yeah. Robbie, are you cracking nuts or what are you doing?
That's not me.
Oh. Say Tips Nico?
Good to see Tips here in spirit. I think Matt's just being a dad.
Dude, I'm not doing anything. I'm walking around. It's the forest spirits.
Clever. Forest is making all that noise.
Is it still going on? I don't hear.
I just hear clacking and I don't know.
Yeah, I hear it.
Someone's definitely
I think we're at the end of our road.
It might be my headphones. I'm walking around. I don't know. I apologize.
That might be it. Ahsoka. I mean, I like it better than other shows at Disney Plus, which isn't a huge compliment.
Same. I will take this over Falcon and
Solstice
Spring.
Man.
Yes.
whatever his name
I'd
was.
rather get shot in the knee than shot in the chest, the heart, or the brain. But hey, check this out. Wouldn't it be cool if I didn't get shot at all?
God, that was so bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, I'll give this. I'm thankfully, we only have one episode per week now. It's like I literally
Oh my god, dude, that
groaned.
two-parter was. That was a disservice to the fans. That was a spit in the face of the 5 people remaining who are still watching this garbage.
Really quick, how do you feel about the fact that they don't release it till 8 o'clock Eastern now? It used to be like midnight the night before we could watch an episode
So
like
much
on Wednesday.
happier.
Oh,
So much
wow.
happier.
So like it would be like, oh, it comes out Wednesday, but at midnight Tuesday night, if you're up late like I always was, you could watch it before everybody else watched it. But now like it gets released at is it 7:30 or 8 on like Wednesday night, no matter what, or Tuesday night.
Tuesday, I saw 9 p.m. But that was just me.
Or it might be 9, but I know it's like a late. But they're not doing the thing where the second it's that day you can watch it.
I mean, I
gotta be honest. This is the first step towards equity that I can fully stand behind. I hated that shit. Like, remember WandaVision? You have to go back so many years. But remember when we used to actually be shows and WandaVision was like, stay tuned, and we were like, what the fuck is happening in WandaVision? And then you were like staying up till 2 or 3 a.m. in the morning to find out what the fuck was happening in WandaVision. And now the shows are so bad, they're like, well, you know, hey, just
it's like Secret Invasion.
It's out at 9 on a Tuesday. Just, you know, hey, it's here. You just put the kids up. You've had 2 glasses of wine. Go ahead, or your wife's had 2 glasses of wine. Go ahead and slip this on. You can fall asleep. That way we can at least get the watch count up.
I mean, I didn't even go to midnight releases of Harry Potter books, so I don't remember like staying up till midnight to watch anything be released on television. So I mean, that must have been a fad you were all into. But I'm just like, I'm always waiting the next day. So it's fine that they're finally accommodating people like me who like to sleep in.
Well, so the kind of point I make is that the issue I had with a lot of the Disney shows was that when you woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning,
it was all spoiled.
You couldn't go on Twitter. You couldn't look at your news feed because like people would be like, "Did you see this? Did you see that?" You know, and
it did happen with me with Better Call Saul. I waited.
Yep, agreed.
Until the day after it was released, instead of watching when we were at AMC. And they spoiled a major character death. They put his death in the thumbnail of the video.
Yeah, awful.
I hate it when they put
crimes against society.
Spoilers in the thumbnail.
And I didn't even I just went on YouTube to look at something else. I was like, ooh, I won't spoil who was killed, but it was like literally his head exploding from the gunshot.
Oh my god!
And I was like, that can't be real. Like, it came out like a day ago. And then I watched it, was like, those motherfuckers. That would have been the most shocking thing I've ever seen on television had I not been spoiled.
Exactly.
So
that's like, I'm still angry about that spoiler.
The opposite happened to me with Neurotic, which if you're really hating the MCU and Disney and woke culture, that's a great show to check out. He's angry. He's a
he's an ex-convict.
Yeah, yes I do.
Yeah.
And an ex-comic book store owner.
Well, that's not as interesting as his ex-convict history. He's told a story about it.
I think it's more interesting considering how he's already paid his time.
I think all
society.
all comic book store owners are ex-comic book store owners, or they will be at some point.
Except for the guy from The Big Bang Theory. But he posted a video saying Ahsoka saves Disney, and I hadn't seen it yet, so I didn't watch the video, but I was like, "Ooh, Ahsoka's gonna be really good." Watched it, really confused. Went to the video, it was all sarcasm. I was like, "You got me. You got me, buddy."
Well, I hopefully the show will be better than Kenobi overall, because that was a huge disappointment, and as was Mandalorian season 3. So hopefully it'll at least be better than those shows. It's pretty much like the only merit or goodwill we can give towards the shows. It's been better than some other shows in Disney Plus. Like Secret Invasion is better than She-Hulk.
This piece of
but
shit.
it's still
trash. It's awful.
It's
terrible.
It's what's called the lesser of two shits.
Remember when we used to be happy? Like, oh my god, how good was Winter Soldier? How good was Infinity War? How good was Endgame? How good was The Rise of Skywalker?
And Endgame was
that.
I remember you said.
Slowly trolling harder.
I think you were trying to get a rise out of us.
Yes, I was.
That joke.
And and a tweet, which you can do on Twitter at Zealots Podcast. Sorry, did I say Twitter? I meant X. Because we're so cool now. You can X us on X or tweet us on X. Whatever. I'm too old for this shit. Bye, guys.
Okay, Murtaugh. Yeah, thanks for listening. Matt, I guess, had to step off and do Matt
Dad
things.
duties. Yeah,
It's
bedtime.
But, Matt, if you're listening,
We love you.
thanks for coming on the show, and Tip. We'll hear you next time. Unintentionally.
Wait, I'm gonna have a bag to wrinkle in his honor. Here we go.
There you go. Like
Next
squeeze
time.
that bag of ruffles. All right, I'm Forrest.
Major.
I'm Robbie.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks for listening.
Zealots Podcast.
Oh, hey, we're still going.
So awkward. Hello there.
Yeah, usually he just like ends
usually
the
he
whole
drifts
thing,
off.
but he just left.
I wonder if this is still recording. Hey, Forrest, if this is still recording, you suck at Halo?
Oh.